So Ms. Pretorius testified that the vehicle was at Kutlwana Street for Flores from 09:52:32 seconds until 16:32:27, a period of just under 6.5 hours.
That is correct. According to the register, my lord, I mean this exhibit, my lord, that's what it says.
Now, given the movement of this vehicle and the time that it had spent at the crime scene on the 27th, the period of just under 6.5 hours, what is your comment regarding this version that was proffered by Mr. Mngomezulu regarding Mr. Longwe Twala?
My lord, like I said earlier, you would have expected some form of blood left there, or at least someone, my lord, would have said in the form of a statement that they've seen Mr. Longwe, injured, or even on the same day of the incident, my lord. I've said it in my evidence, earlier, that even on the same day of the incident, there is no statement in the docket of anybody who says Mr. Longwe was shot, be it by himself or by any other person. The only person who was shot, which was a fatal shot, my lord, was the deceased. The next person who sustained some injuries, and I saw that in the statement, was Zandi, and somewhere I think next or on your legs, but still it was not a significant injury because there were no blood drops. It was just minor injury during the struggle, my lord. But there is no evidence that I found in the docket which suggests that Mr. Longwe Twala was injured on the 26th of October 2014. Sorry, my lord, but in addition to that, like I said earlier as well, my lord, at the crime scene, the only evidence that is in the docket, insofar as the firearm that was used, is a 9mm and not a revolver.
Thank you. Then just to come back to one aspect that you touched on Friday, and that...
Sorry, just before it escapes me, before you straddle it, did Mr. Longwe Twala make a statement?
Yes, he did. He made more than one statement in the docket, my lord.
This is not evidence. But did he ever mention in his statement that he was shot?
No, he didn't, my lord. Neither are any of the people who were with him in the house. They never said he was shot.
And are you aware as to how many statements Mr. Longwe Twala deposed to?
My lord, I think it could be 3 or more, but it's definitely more than 2. I think it's 3 more statements. Maximum, it will not be less than 3, my lord. So far as the statements are made.
If there was ever a time you wondered why Mr. Brigadier Kininda, I am here to read everybody's statement, but accept his very own. If you ever wondered why Brigadier Kininda did not, in those many days of reading statements, did not read into the record Longwe Twala's statement, there's your answer right there from the horse's mouth. You see, because he loves to talk so much, he gives away the information. Longwe Twala was not a reliable witness. Why do I say that? He gave 3+ statements. He said it himself, and he wanted to put so much emphasis on it that there's so many statements from Longwe Twala. Why does he have so many statements? The answer, my lord, he's inconsistent. He always changes like the wood. His versions kept changing. Just like we know he ran out of the house with his cell phone. No, he ran out of the house but left his cell phone because he was the coward of the day, and while he was running, he had his cell phone. Do you see what I mean? So at the beginning of this, I spared you the boredom, okay? I spared you the boredom. I did all the work. I took my notes from when the AVL lady was there, the one who worked at the AVL company, but then suddenly now works at the South African Police Services in Soweto in the K9 unit. Oh God, my memory is impressive. Yes, her. Maria Elizabeth, or is it Elizabeth Maria? Don't quote me on the order of her names. But I took my notes from when she was on the stand, which was pretty recent, okay? Baloyi, it was so recent, you did not have to make Kininda read this all over again because she was just there, just before Kininda. We remember, okay? So I took my notes from that day. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I actually appreciate Kininda reading it back into the record because when Maria Elizabeth was reading it, I couldn't hear the street names. I would hear like Glen Vista, or just write like Glen Vista or Joburg. I could not hear the street names because it was so muffled. With Kininda, I could hear it loud and clear. So thank you, Brigadier Kininda. But while we're on the topic, so I have the 2 documents side by side. So I had to write it again. So what Maria put on the record and what Baloyi was making Kininda put back on the record. And I said, there's got to be a reason. Let me find my patience, okay? Let me pour myself a drink. And let me be patient with these men in particular. And let me do the work, okay? Let me put in the work because the Mzansi Unfiltered family, I can't let them listen to this again. They'll just unsubscribe. I know them. So Baloyi starts him off at 4 a.m. Ignition off, Glen Vista. Okay, Baloyi. He goes on and on. He's very selective of the times that he's picking. He's not going through the same exercise with Maria. And the way Kininda, it's like I'm doing two separate reports here. Because the way Kininda reads it into the record, Kininda said, hell no. We're not doing the speeds into the record because that caused such a riot on the internet. We're not doing that. We're just reading the times. And they read all the times, ignition on, ignition off, Glen Vista, from Glen Vista to Joburg, from Joburg back to Glen Vista, and then from Glen Vista all the way back to Vosloorus, obviously, at the crime scene. And then they're at the crime scene for the Red Polo. It's very important I mention this. The Red Polo is at the crime scene for 6.5 hours. Okay, Baloyi, so what? The whole point of this exercise, after they went through, I thought they were going to give us some groundbreaking revelation that we missed the last time. The whole point of this exercise is to disprove Ngomezulu's proposition that Longwe Twala was shot and the car was moving up and down. And he even went back to the crime scene. So this man was not injured or bleeding or anything of the sort. In fact, there were still buddy chummies that he could still go back to the crime scene. Baloyi, he had to go back to the crime scene, leave his car there, and then they all drove off to the police station to give their statements. We listen in court. Like, why do you think that's of some significance? This is absolutely disappointing, both from Baloyi and Kininda, because they proved absolutely nothing here. And Ngomezulu did not say when the foot got septic. And if you have any understanding of biology, you would understand that the septicization doesn't happen in 10 minutes. If you had gone to the Rand Hospital and subpoenaed any doctor to come and explain to you how septic wounds work, if there's a bullet in there, I'm sure you'd have done a much better job. In fact, Mangena and friends over there at the ballistics experts department, they could have also come back and answered this for you because they studied. What did Mangena say? I remember it. Oh gosh. Something along the lines of wound impact, something like that. Let me know if you remember. But it's part of the things they studied to become ballistic analysts. They know about wounds and how wounds happen. So, in my opinion, that was an utter waste of time. So I'm going to spare you channel members and friends and subscribers. I'm not going to put this here. But if you are interested, it's going to be at the end of the video, okay? At the end, because we do not care, okay? Then Baloyi goes on to say, now that we've gone through that whole exercise, can you just talk about, what Ngomezulu said with regards to Longwe Twala being shot? And then Kininda jumps up to the occasion and he says, well, if he was shot, where's the blood? Kininda, Mapiri cleaned the crime scene. Do you not know this as the lead investigator? And then he goes on to say Zandi was injured, but it was so minor. There wasn't even any blood. I doubt Zandi would allow you to call her wounds minor. Bring her back on the stand and say that to her face. She'll start crying. Knowing Miss Drama Queen Mapopola, she will say, not today. And then Kininda, of course, always likes to add on addendums. He starts to talk about the only firearm at the crime scene is a 9mm and not a revolver. Then Judge Rata jumps into the arena and he says, did Longwe Twala make a statement? And Kininda, of course, rushes to the occasion and says, absolutely, more than 3. Definitely not less than 3, but more than 3. What is the exact number, Mr. Brigadier Kininda? What is the exact number? You are the police officer. Mere police officer, as, that's not me saying it. That's what Shalolo said. No. That's what Advocate Shalolo said. But then the whole judge said, did Longwe Twala ever say he was shot? Sir, my lord, why would Longwe Twala say he was shot? Then now he has to say he was shot by which gun? And then now he is the perpetrator. There's no way he could say he was shot. But you know what? Let's continue on, because this is the SENZO MEYIWA trial. We just gotta stay in. We just gotta stay in. By the way, I'm so disappointed with myself. I said I was going to go to the ignore my alarm is beeping consistently and annoying the hell out of me. So if you keep hearing it in the audio, just know I'm gonna babala pendlini, and I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm waiting for the repair guys to come fix it. But in the meantime, it's been a hard day listening to this sound. But let's continue on. You know what? I wanted to say I lost my chain of thought. Let's just get back into it, because obviously I was about to digress.
Thank you. Then just to come back to the issue that you touched on Friday, and that's regarding the application for the Section 205, on which the investigating team and Lieutenant Colonel Stein worked on. You have placed on record that this information was applied on a certain date. If you can just place on record again as to when that information that was put at your disposal, the Section 205 of accused number 3's phone, as to when it was applied for, and the reference numbers.
Yes, my lord. The date, my lord, it's 07 October 2015. The time is 11:22:29 seconds, and the reference number is GPJHB 5/8 of 10/2015, my lord. Yes.
And the period?
The period was requested from I think I'm looking at it. The period requested from my lord, it's 15 November 2014 till 25 January 2015. Sorry, so it's 15 November 2014 to 25 Jan 2015.
And the case ID?
The case ID, my lord, it's 621243.
And the number in respect of which an application was made?
The number in question, my lord, it's 27727668. And that is a number that was linked to accused number 3, my lord.
And with reference to Exhibit Triple G in brackets 1, the Section 205 of the same number, you can just place on record the date on which an application was made for the Section 205.
The date for this application, my lord, is 5 March 2015. Yes, 5 March 2015, my lord.
And the TSU reference number?
The TSU reference number, my lord, it's GPJHB 50/03/2015.
Bese kuthi ke i-TSU reference number GPJHB 50/03/2015.
And the case ID?
The case ID, my lord, it's 577930.
This cell phone number in respect of which an application was made?
Yes, it is the same number that is associated with accused 3, my lord. 27. The number is 2772766869.
And who was the requester of the information? The Section 205 records in both instances? Yes, so for it, place it on record on Friday.
Yeah, my lord, I'm just not sure whether it was Constable Lamin or Sergeant Masondo, but it's one of the two. I just wanted to find the relevant page, my lord. We either of the two, my lord.
Now, you testify that Exhibit Triple G1 was not made available to you, correct? Only the Section 205 commencing as you've placed on record on the 14th of November.
Yes, that's correct, my lord.
Now, if one looks at Exhibit Triple G1, the Section 205, is it of any significance?
Yes, it is of significance, my lord, because it covers the period when this incident took place. In other words, the 26th of October 2014. And the number associated with accused 3 is located in Phosphorus on that specific day, my lord.
I must have missed it, but no, you are incorrect, Kininda. You said the Section 205 was applied for on the 15th of November 2014. That is after the SENZO MEYIWA crime scene, which was the 26th of October 2014. And you said the 205 is until the 25th of January 2015. And the second one, Triple G1, is on the 5th of March 2015. Let me know in the comment section, guys, if I did not hear him correctly. But this is incorrect record information.
You've also, in fact, already referred to the communication as identified by Lieutenant Colonel House between accused number 3 and 5.
That is correct, my lord.
You can then turn to one aspect. It's Exhibit S. And it's photo number 38.
Yes, ma'am.
We also wish to refer you to Exhibit DD5, that is the affidavit of Lieutenant Colonel Halls, on page 21 thereof. Unfortunately, we don't have the electronic version of this page. That is the download of the cell phone of accused number 2.
That is correct, my lord.
Download of accused number 2.
What is your comment regarding that picture as appears on the downloads of the phone of accused number 2 and the photo on the screen, photo 38 of Exhibit S?
My lord, the photo in paragraph 17.9.1 on the affidavit of Lieutenant Colonel House contains a similar picture. The photo number 38. Just need to get to it now. Yes. Yes. So that is the affidavit of Lieutenant Colonel House, my lord, on paragraph 17.9.1. It contains, you can see a rifle, a black rifle with a pistol, a semi-automatic in a seat of a car. Now, the same picture, my lord, was found in the downloads of the cell phone that was associated with accused 3. So there are similar photos, my lord.
And we just want to show you page 22 of Lieutenant Hall's affidavit. What is your comment?
Page 22. Yes, so page 22 of Colonel Hall's affidavit, it's paragraph 17.9.2, my lord. It's the same. It's the same picture of a rifle, a semi-automatic, full automatic rifle. It looks like an R5 in my observation. And a black pistol. The R5 is also black, with a black pistol in the seat of a vehicle. And I'm saying, my lord, this picture is also found in the downloads, and that is specifically picture number 38 in the downloads of a cell phone associated with accused 3, my lord.
On the left-hand side is the download of the phone of accused number 2. There's a blue arrow.
Yes, the pictures are the same, my lord.
Photo, yeah, sorry, it's photo 38. They've just been put side by side.
Yes, the pictures are the same, my lord. I had the privilege to see them even prior to this photo. The photos on the downloads of accused 2, this particular photo, as well as the one that was found, photo 38 of accused number 3's cell phone associated with him, they are the same, my lord.
Just place the dates there on record as per photo 38 of Exhibit S.
On photo 38, it says IFG 2014 0527, and it says the date man 2014 0527.
So just putting two photos side by side and saying one is downloaded from accused number 3's phone is not enough, okay? It's not enough for us to beam it as a fact. So we're going to need the defense to hop on this and make sure that they request the electronic files, okay, from hosts, and then do a Google search of the origin of the image, okay? Do a Google search of the origin of the image, and that is coming from a subscriber. Okay, a subscriber said, "Don't believe everything you hear." There's a way to determine everything. So yeah, that is pretty interesting. The video has come to an end here. You can stay for part 2, which is all the AVR data that Gininda put on the record. I'm just leaving it here for reference purposes, but please do feel free, okay? Continue watching or watch the ads. You already know, and that makes me happy and put a smile on my face. December is coming and we need those coins, okay? Thanks so much for watching. You already know. I'll catch you on my next upload.
Then at 040321.
Then at 040321, my lord, the location is Heidelberg Place, Glen Vista, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa. It says ignition off.
Were you able to establish during the investigation as to who lives at this address?
Yes, this is the property belonging to Mr. Longwe's TWALA'S. It used to be the property belonging to Mr. Longwe's TWALA'S father, my lord. So he was residing there at the time. So it's a property, it's a family property, my lord.
Then at 0726. Maybe just the entry before that, 071517.
Okay, at 071517, my lord, the location is Pumisa Street, Glen Vista, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa, and the status moving.
And at 072608.
Oh, 07?
072608. That entry from the top.
Yes, I've got it, my lord. 072608 seconds. The location is KB Bella Road, Malbertin, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa. Then the ignition was switched off, my lord.
072805.
Then at 072805, the location is still KB Bella Road, Malbertin, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa, and then it says ignition on.
Then at 080640 is the first entry, the trip 88.
Yes, 060640, my lord. The location is still at Heidelberg Place, Glen Vista, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa. Then it says ignition on.
And at 081434.
At 081434, my lord, the location is Grasfull Crescent, Linden Vrede, Johannesburg, Gauteng. It says moving, my lord.
And at 081531.
It's yes, at 081531, my lord, it still says Grasfull Crescent, Linden Vrede, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa, and then it says the status ignition off. Yes, at 081636, the location is still Grasfull Crescent, Linden Vrede, Johannesburg, South Africa, ignition on.
At 081716, an entry just below the previous one.
At 081716 seconds, my lord, is still the same location, Grasfull Crescent, Linden Vrede, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa.
Yes, and at 082338.
At 032338, the location is Foster Avenue, Glen Vista, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa, my lord. The vehicle is moving, the status.
And on page 57, the third entry from the top, 090524.
At 090524 seconds, my lord. The location is Heidelberg Place, Glen Vista, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa. Status ignition off.
And at 091958.
At 091958 second, the location is Thaba Bosigo Avenue, Glen Vista, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa. The status moving.
And at 092720.
At 092720 seconds, the status is Grasfull Crescent, Linden Vrede, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa, and the status is moving, my lord.
And at 095232 on page 58.
At 095232 seconds, my lord, the location is Kutwanong Street, Phosphorus, Gauteng, South Africa. It says status moving, my lord.
095308.
At 095308 seconds, The location is still Kutlwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng, South Africa, my lord. The ignition was switched off.
And at 16:32:27,
At 16:32:27 seconds, the location was still Kutlwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng, South Africa. Then it says stop, GPS unlocked, my lord.
and at 16:34:38,
At 16:34:38 seconds, the location, my lord, is Brickfield Road, Spruitview, Katlehong, Gauteng, South Africa. The status, it's moving.